In 1910, the Antarctic Nimrod expedition was in trouble. Led by Ernest Shackleton, the team had set the record for the farthest south anyone had ever reached. But after wrongly figuring out how long it would take to return to the nearest supply depot, the crew had run out of food. Tired and desperate, they turned to their medical kit. It contained a drug called forced march tablets, which promised to reduce hunger and help them keep going longer, thanks to the powerful combinations of its two ingredients, cocaine and the extract of the African kola nut. After taking the pills, the team was able to keep going and reach safety. So how did the kola nut, a sacred ingredient from West Africa, end up in Shackleton's emergency kit? And how did this same combination of kola nut and cocaine make its way into the original recipe of a drink that billions of people drink every day? The kola nut is the seed of the kola tree, a small evergreen native to the tropical forests of West Africa, where it has long been an important part of the culture of many communities. Among the Igbo, the bitter nut is known as the food of the Idriti gods. In Igbo homes, it is a custom to greet and honor guests by breaking a seed and sharing the lobes. In Yoruba communities, kola plays a central role in many religious ceremonies, such as weddings, funerals, and divination. Kola nuts can contain up to 2.5% caffeine, or about twice the amount found in coffee beans, along with tiny amounts of theobromine, a compound with a very similar structure. Both molecules stimulate the central nervous system, causing effects like alertness and increased blood flow to the muscles and lungs. And these qualities likely led to kola's long use in traditional West African medicine. But there is also a bitter side to the kola nut's history. As early as the 10th century, it was used by different groups in West Africa as money to buy captives across the Sahara. And in the 16th century, Portuguese and Afro-Portuguese traders in the region also traded the seeds for people, whom they then sold into slavery across the Atlantic. By the 17th century, the kola nut had made its way to the Americas. Brazilian oral stories tell of enslaved people smuggling the seeds across the Atlantic in their clothing and hair. Enslavers who learned of the nut's energizing properties often used it as a weapon, supplying it to workers they controlled to force even harder labor. However, in places like Jamaica, Cuba, and Brazil, many enslaved communities managed to grow kola on their own, allowing them to preserve and keep practicing their cultural and religious traditions. In the late 19th century, the kola nut gained the attention of pharmacists in Europe and North America. Many claimed, without much evidence, that the nut had countless medicinal and even mind-changing properties. Soon, kola tonics, chocolates, and lozenges lined pharmacy shelves. It was combined with extracts from the coca leaf, the source of cocaine, to create Shackleton's forced march tablets, which were also given to British soldiers during World War I. In 1886, Atlanta pharmacist John Pemberton used this same powerful combo to create the original recipe for Coca-Cola, which he claimed could treat problems like headaches, indigestion, and impotence. By the 1920s, African export of the kola nut slowed, thanks in part to the introduction of another energizing seed from the region, the cocoa bean. Around this time, the Coca-Cola Company is also said to have greatly reduced the kola nut in its recipe. But no one knows for sure. The exact ingredients remain a closely guarded trade secret. However, we do know that the company removed all traces of cocaine by 1903. Today, the kola nut can still be found in different drinks and supplements, like Bissy tea, a staple in many Jamaican homes. Believed to have first been brought to the region on slave ships in the 17th century, this tea is just one example of how the kola nut, despite its bitter past, continues to serve as a powerful symbol of cultural preservation and remembrance.